There's a couple of things that we have learned from this whistleblower testimony, and you're not going to get this from, I don't think you're going to get this from anybody else. They're all going to be talking about Joe Biden and this whistleblower and his credibility and everything else. This is not about Joe Biden. This is the next step you will hear is you're going to start hearing people when it starts to be understood for what it is. You're going to start hearing things like that Trump is a conspiracy theorist. Well, if I'm reading this document correctly, and I'm looking at these two sides, and I assume that that Donald Trump is doing the things that this whistleblower is saying, which we've already found he has been discredited because what he said was in the memo was not in the memo. However, he's making some strong allegations. Let's take them at face value and say, yes, I accept that Trump is doing this. Quite honestly, as I understand what they're saying here, I think I would have done exactly the same thing as president of the United States. And I would have done it for national security reasons. Now, Trump may have other reasons to do it, and I can't answer to that. And nor can anyone else. But if you look at what he's saying, I would have made sure this didn't go to Congress. I would have made sure that this was in the top level drawer that the super secret stuff is put, because I didn't want anyone from my party, the Democrats, I wouldn't want anyone to know. I think what the president was onto is deep state, because if you look at this, it's the intelligence that is wheedling this out. It's the Democrats that are wheedling this out and saying, oh, no, he's doing something really bad. But what is it that he's looking for? He's looking for collusion of corruption in Ukraine with the DNC.
We talked about how earlier.
I can't hear you. Can we turn Jason's mic on, please? Go ahead.
Hear me now?
Yeah.
We talked about earlier about how, you said that the Obama administration did not plan to lose what they had built in Ukraine. They did not expect this comedy show host to completely upend the Ukrainian politics.
And so, we were all over Ukraine. And I think we were on the wrong side, quite honestly. We were all over Ukraine during the Obama administration.
And you're exactly right. I cannot believe this reminded me of another show we did on foreign lobbying. And I just really quickly looked up to see how embedded the Democrats were in Ukraine when all this turmoil was going on.
And this is about a year ago, the research you did.
About a year. This is absolutely insane. So there are Obama lawyers, there's strategists, there's lobbyists. They are all over the place. This is just a quick little list. But the former Obama White House counsel, Greg Craig, was involved in Ukraine. The chief strategist.
Wait a minute. His personal counsel? Kind of like Rudy Giuliani.
Right.
Interesting. Okay.
Chief strategist for Bernie Sanders, Tad Devine. He was involved in Ukraine. John Podesta's brother, Tony Podesta.
Which is the guy who shut down his consulting firm the minute it was found that there was dirty goings on in Ukraine. And it was a bizarre move. You're like, wait a minute, what? Why did you shut down? You've just disappeared. What happened?
And he got tied up with Manafort, which was a part of the larger Russia investigation.
Exactly right.
Chief strategist for Hillary Clinton, Mark Penn. He was involved in Ukraine. Two Obama pollsters, a minor pollster, John Allazone, and the Obama campaign's lead pollster, Joel Benenson. He was also working in Ukraine. They are all over the place.
Right. So their pollsters most likely were over there to help the president get reelected. So they're helping this former administration, which was totally corrupt, helping them stay in power, get in power. The president's personal attorneys are over there. Their strategists are over there. Hillary Clinton's chief strategist is over there. Tony Podesta is over there, all wrapped up into this, and it's all right around the 2016 campaign. So they're helping them, and they all happen to be there while Trump is running. And we're expected to believe that Hillary Clinton's people didn't say, hey, can you guys find is there any dirt on Donald Trump? We're expected to believe that they were perfect angels.
Her chief strategy was there, for crying out loud. Chief strategist.
Okay, so this is what Trump is really looking for. Trump is looking to finish the Russian investigation. They pinned this all on him. And he's saying, you know what? I don't trust the press. There's nobody in the press that can do this. I don't trust intelligence agencies. I don't trust the FBI, and they don't have jurisdiction on this anyway. I don't trust anyone. Rudy, go over there. Keep Attorney General Barr in the loop so he knows what's going on. Don't tell the State Department. Don't tell anything, because what they're saying is, the Trump response is it was a corrupt country. It was corrupt, and it was being run really by the Obama White House. They were helping. They were embedded on everything. When I started to run, they started this Russia thing. We know that Fusion GPS was hired by the Democrats to go get that dirt in Russia. We know that Russia had people involved with the oligarchs in Ukraine. So are we to believe that they know nothing, that the Democrats had nothing? And by the way, those DNC servers are somewhere held by a corrupt oligarch in Ukraine. And so the president of the United States is saying, I got to find those servers. He is doing a Russia investigation on his own and not telling anyone about it. He's not erasing it. He's just putting it in secure vaults so no one can see it. I would do exactly the same thing, because I do believe this government is corrupt. I do believe that there are people, especially in the State Department, that think they know better than everybody else. And exactly what is, if there's no deep state in our country, will you at least admit a deep state with Brexit in England? That is the definition of deep state. The people just are too stupid to understand. Yeah, they voted, but we'll overturn that. That is what's happening in Europe. That's what's happening in England. That's what's happening here. And Donald Trump, and it may all be for personal reasons, but this is what the people hired him to do, honestly, was go in and shut this deep state, shut this swamp down where everybody's enriching themselves, everybody's playing a game, and you don't know about it. I think that's what's happening, and that's why this will be the battle to death. And quite honestly, I hope to God the security on this new president in Ukraine is good, because this guy is fighting he's fighting Russia, he's fighting the oligarchs, he's fighting now the DNC, he's fighting the most corrupt. I mean, keep an eye on the Clintons. He's fighting all of the most dangerous people in the world. And you're going to hear this now just called a conspiracy theory. But so was the caliphate.
If we find out Zelensky was recruiting 14-year-olds to a Miami mansion, we know what's going down. That's when we know. It's kind of fascinating to watch it kind of all play out. I don't, you see everyone kind of rushing to their side. And I think we learned in the Mueller investigation, the best approach is to sit here and look at the information as it comes out and try to analyze whether it was correct or not. I mean, think of how excited people on both sides got over the Mueller investigation over a 2-year period. How many days were wasted chasing rumors and things that we didn't understand at the end of the investigation, for all the complaining about the investigation and for all the praising of the investigation. What we got at the end was something that basically said Trump did nothing that would warrant impeachment. And so, at the end of the day, I think the more we're able to look at this information in a sober fashion and look at it and wait for the actual results to come out, the better we're going to do with it.
So both sides have everything to lose. And the reason why I say this is a battle to the death, I thought it was very, very weird that it came out of Nancy Pelosi. First of all, that Nancy Pelosi, without any evidence, all of a sudden got to take him down. Enough is enough. It's fascinating. No good answer for that, unless you look at this whistleblower's report from a different point of view. And if you look at it from a different point of view, Nancy Pelosi and the DNC would know you've got to stop him. You got to discredit him. You have to trash him. He's got to be over, or we're exposed for all the games that we played in the 2016 election and beyond. We got to stop it. And I believe there will be people on the GOP that will have the same kind of connections, who have made the same kind of money, et cetera, et cetera. They won't want to be exposed either. But I found it interesting. Not only did Nancy Pelosi flip-flop on something where they had no evidence. Well, now I understand it, but there's something else that sticks out. That Nancy Pelosi released right after she spoke and said impeachment. They released that President Trump had made a personal phone call to Nancy Pelosi. And he said, isn't there some sort of deal we can make here? And Nancy Pelosi's office reported, she said, no deal, Mr. President. Tell your people to obey the law, and hung up. And that bothered me because I thought, what kind of deal could be made? What if that was even true, why would he make that phone call? What kind of deal could he make? Oh, I know. We're in mutually assured destruction. Whether the president would use this for ultimate power or expose it, I don't know. But this is mutually assured destruction. One of these has to win. One of these has to win. They're either going to completely discredit and impeach Donald Trump, or Donald Trump and his allies will expose them for what they were doing, if indeed they were doing this in Ukraine. I don't think it's a far stretch to not believe either of those or both of those could be true.